Welcome to the CWSFL Casual Draft Night. Here we are for the Season 18 draft, where we get to find out where these prospects are headed, where they're going to be suiting up for training camp, and where this career started for them. It's going to be a lot of fun here. We have technically 4 rounds here, but really about 18, 19 prospects getting ready to hear their name called. We may also have us a few undrafted free agents for the first time ever after Casual Draft Night ends, which would be pretty exciting as well, because that means they got to get some teams. But this is going to be a good draft. We got a lot of amazing players here. Not many people are known too well in this draft class, because there wasn't a lot of prospect bowls last season, because about 90% of this draft all were late entries and weren't really around for prospect games. So a lot of these guys that are waiting to hear their name called don't have a lot of film on them. So it's going to be interesting to see how much scouting and draft interviews played a part and where these guys land in the draft, and if maybe some teams are unknown on some prospects, or are they taking some swings. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting to see a team like the Comets and the Gazelles both have 2 picks here in the first round, which is nuts because the Comets have been one of the top teams the past 2-3 seasons. The Gazelles have had 2 Gold Bowl appearances in 2 out of the last 3 seasons, and both those teams have 2 picks in the first round. It's insane. But here we are. We're ready to get started with the Richmond Lions on the clock. They're still not updated here with their new draft room yet. Construction's taking a little bit longer than we expected, but it is coming soon. Promise you that. But the Richmond Lions with the first overall pick here in the Season 18 CWSFL Casual Draft Night. Linebacker Taj Hosking. Wow, what an amazing pick here for the Richmond Lions, man. They're a team that is really starting to put it all together on offense last year, and now they're trying to close in on the defensive end. Jalen Jones Jr. was a DB last year who really panned out in his rookie year, looking to capitalize and take a big year 2 leap. Now you add in someone like Taj at the linebacker spot who can really help lead that defense, because a really smart linebacker, they said in draft interviews, answered questions well, was able to explain defense and schemes and the game of football better than they said really anyone else in that draft, and that is why they're the first overall pick here. But the Salt Lake City Comets now are on the clock here. A lot of changes here for that front office is Pro Goat steps into ownership, and we have William Simpson, old Houston Stags general manager, is now general manager of the Salt Lake City Comets. So we're going to see how this draft goes now with the changes in ownership. But it looks like they're going to select a linebacker back-to-back here in this first 2 picks. A.J. Wild, 2nd overall pick to the Salt Lake City Comets. This pick was originally the Sao Paulo Pumas, which is crazy because, man, they could have used that pick. But they found a way to, in a former trade, that pick landed them 2nd overall. They pick up A.J. Wild. Great player here, another great linebacker, really smart like Taj as well, but also very athletic. It's going to be great to see where they choose to put him, inside or outside. A.J. Wild, that is going to be a great pick for the Salt Lake City Comets. But the Vancouver Lancers are now on the clock. No more little Johnny in that front office room. They have a couple new faces there running that front office, but the lead there is Brady Sunkisser. It's going to be exciting to see how that plays out for the Lancers moving forward. They have also another good team that could make a run in the playoffs, and they're going to try to fill in some pieces here in this draft, and they're going to get that started here with a defensive back, Manti X. Man, this guy's good. Ooh, he's good. He's a speedster. He's got great hands, and it's crazy because usually both of those things you would think on the receiver side, but wants to be a DB. You can play him at safety, you can play him at corner. Really good manned up, so that's why you can move him at both, man. It's hard to beat him deep because he's so quick, and great size as well. Manti X, man, is going to be a great defensive back for the Vancouver Lancers. Does everything he asks for. Sometimes you got to ask him to do it, but as a reminder, but man, I'm telling you, Manti X is a great draft pick right there. But the Ghana Gazelles now are on the clock here for their first of 2 picks here in the first round. It's going to be exciting to see who they choose to go with. They lost some key pieces in this free agency this offseason that were big parts of the past 2 out of 3 Gold Bowls. He's part of the 2 Gold Bowl appearances in the last 3 seasons. But the Ghana Gazelles are going to select the Great Wall. Wow, amazing pick right here. The only offensive lineman here in this draft. But not only that, this is a player that is well known throughout the league. He's got a history within the league. So you get a player like that, and they're going to be an offensive lineman. I'm surprised they even went this far into the draft. Thought that could have been a 1-2 pick right there. But it's great to see that this is 4th pick here in the draft for the Ghana Gazelles. This pick originally was with the Salt Lake City Comets. So it's crazy that Comets don't even own their first round pick here, but they have 2. But the Sao Paulo Pumas now are on the clock here with the 5th overall pick in the season 18 draft. They picked, they had a pick earlier in this draft that was 2nd overall, but in a former trade, it got sent to the Salt Lake City Comets. So now they're here on the clock, 5th overall pick. This pick originally belonged to the Vancouver Lancers, but all season stuff for front office deals. Trade happened. Now the Sao Paulo Pumas select Zach Man, pass rusher, defensive end. Man, this is a great pick as well. Really known to get after the quarterback from the outside. Doesn't play much on the inside, so it's going to be a pick you're going to see on one of the 2 ends. It's going to be a really good one as well because tackles have struggled blocking this guy because for his size, man, he's so quick and he's really able to get around that edge. He stops the outside run really well. That's what he's known for. That's what the Sao Paulo Pumas got. They are tired of having to deal with Ragnar for all those years, and they're not going to let another running back do that to him again. They went on, they got a great defensive end right there. Good pick by the Sao Paulo Pumas. But the Bangkok Pandas now are on the clock here for their first round pick here at number 6. It's going to be interesting to see where they choose to go. They've had some key defensive players retire this offseason, and the DB spot, linebacker, I mean, you name it. They lost it on the defensive side due to retirement. But they're going to pick up the Nuke, a shutdown defensive back, man. This guy, dangerous. He's a hard hitter. And you can play him at safety. You can play him at DB. He can move all around the field. And they've even talked out a sub. You can play this guy sub linebacker. This guy's dangerous. You can play him all over the field. They like to compare him to a lot of like a Jabril Peppers, man. It's very good, but the Nuke, Bangkok Pandas, 6th overall pick. The Ghana Gazelles now are back on the clock for their 2nd pick here in the first round. It's the 7th overall pick at that, and we have one more pick left in this first round because this year we only got 8 teams instead of 10. But the Ghana Gazelles, man, they picked up the Great Wall offensive lineman earlier in the first round. That was an amazing pickup, probably one of the best pickups in this draft that we've seen so far. Could they really win this first round here by locking it down with this great pickup of Jan Maury, shut down defensive back? We have DBs go back to back here. This is another great draft pick. Jan really looking to be a long-term DB for the Ghana Gazelles. Expressed going into the draft how much wanted to play for Ghana, and now getting drafted by Ghana. Couldn't be any happier. Jan Maury going to the Ghana Gazelles with the 7th overall pick. The Salt Lake City Comets here are on the clock to round out this first round, and it's their 2nd pick so far. They had a 2nd overall pick where they went out and that got A.J. Wild. Incredible pickup right there on the defensive end. Now you got to decide, are they going to continue to try to go defense, or are they going to fill one of the last 1 to 2 holes they have on the offensive side as they try to make another push to get back to that Gold Bowl? But the Salt Lake City Comets are going to select tight end Michael Jones. Another great pickup right here. The only tight end, or one of 2 tight ends in this draft, but now the only tight end to be taken in the first round. A great pass catcher, not known to be the fastest or the most athletic, but that's fine because in this league, man, all you got to do is catch the ball. And Michael Jones knows how to do that. Some of the best hands in this draft class, receiver-wise. So it's going to be exciting to see how Pro Goat is going to be doing throwing to him this upcoming season. But that'll do it for the first round. We saw the Ghana Gazelles select 2 picks. The Salt Lake City Comets have 2 picks, so it's really hard not to say that they're the winners of the first round. But the Lions had an amazing pick with Taj with the 1st overall pick. Honestly, probably one of the top prospects in this draft, and goes number 1. Couldn't ask for a better pick from the Richmond Lions on that one. And then the Vancouver Lancers picking up Manti X. Dude just finished a 10-year career already in this league, and now he's on player number 2. Went second overall. Great pickup, great scouting by the Vancouver Lancers on that one. The Pumas picking up Sackman. They need a defensive end. They got a defensive end. They're making a point to build that defensive that defense. They're trying to. They got an offense. They've had an offense for the past few seasons. Now they're trying to bring this defense home, and that's a pick right there. It's going to help do that. Ghana Gazelles, man, picking up the Great Wall and Jim Morey, an offensive lineman, a defensive back, 2 great players right there. That's going to help fill some of those holes that they lost in this past offseason. But now the second round is getting ready to get started here. The Richmond Lions are now on the clock, and they picked up Taj in the first round, an athletic linebacker, really smart linebacker, fast linebacker, can play him inside, can play him outside. Probably going to end up being that middle linebacker to help really control that defense. So now where do you go with this second pick? You have another pick later on in this second round, so you got to keep that in mind now in case you maybe think someone might fall, but they're going to pick Swerve. Wow, a tight end. They saw that one tight end go at the end of the first round, only one left. They knew it was a hole on their offense, and they knew it could really help out their quarterback and Travis Scott, so they go get tight end Swerve. Man, a receiving tight end, another one with really good hands as well, can catch the ball, can bring it in, but this one has a really good run after the catch. So it's going to be great to see pairing up with Travis Scott as Travis Scott starts to hit his stride now as a young quarterback in this league. But great pickup right there to start off the second round here of the 2018 casual draft. Sao Paulo Pumas here are coming up on the clock, but they did lose this pick this past season due to being over in the CBA. That's tough. You go over in the salary cap and cross into the restrictions, man. Those aprons hurt, and they lost the second round pick for it. But so far, let's recap on this draft, man. We've had a lot of great prospects taken so far. Richmond Lions, we saw what they just did by picking up Swerve with the first pick in this draft or in this round. That's a great draft they're having so far. They have another pick coming up at 14 in this draft, so going to be interested to see how they choose to go there. We got the Ghana Gazelles coming up next. They got that pick from the Houston Stags. They've already had 2 amazing draft picks in the first round. They have 2 draft picks again here in the second round. So for a team that lost some key pieces in free agency this past offseason, no better way than four picks in the first 2 rounds to replace them. But the Ghana Gazelles now are officially on the clock here for the 3rd pick in the second round. It'd be the 11th overall pick. They picked up the Great Wall offensive lineman and Jen Morey defensive back in the first round. So they got an offensive player and a defensive player. Now, you got to think they're going to choose the lean defense after what they lost this offseason, but let's find out. Pick is in. Ghana Gazelles, the Megatron Jr. Wow, this is a big-time defensive lineman because you can play this guy on the outside and you can play this guy on the inside. Very versatile and maybe not as fast as maybe someone like Sackman, who was taken in the first round, but doesn't matter because this guy is strong. Man, he will bulldoze any offensive lineman that's in front of him. We've seen him do it so far, and it looks like we're going to continue to see him do that. It's just now going to be taking place in Ghana. Great pickup by the Ghana Gazelles right there. They've now had 3 amazing draft picks, and the Salt Lake City Comets now are on the clock for their first pick in the second round. They had 2 great picks as well in the first round by taking A.J. Wild, linebacker, and Michael Jones, tight end. They got 1 player on offense and defense there in the first round. Now you got to decide, where do they go here in the second round? There's talks, maybe you look at a running back. Ragnar's getting old. Maybe you go defense to try to fill out that last 1-2 spot maybe. And instead, the Salt Lake City Comets select Frost. Wow, running back. That is an incredible pickup right there because Ragnar's getting old. Some say this could be Ragnar's last season here in the league. And it's crazy to think about because he's been such a dominant running back. 3-time MVP, I believe. Man, that's insane. And a couple of them came back to back. So they're going to go ahead and start developing maybe a running back, maybe switch his positions. I don't know. Frost is very athletic, can play wide receiver, can play running back. I remember there's some old high school tape playing defensive back. You never know what Frost is going to play or how the Comets are choosing to use him. Honestly, instead of listed as a running back in the draft, probably should have came in as an athlete. But great pickup by the Salt Lake City Comets right there. And the Vancouver Lancers now are on the clock here. They picked up Manti X with a 3rd overall pick, a great defensive back. Now they're going to look to, you got to think they look to stay on the defensive side with their offense being as strong as it is right now. I mean, the offense is complete, and they're going to do that. They're going to pick up the Vancouver Lancers. They're going to pick up Lamont Moore, defensive back. This guy, interesting prospect, I believe was drafted last season, but couldn't get onto a contract. I don't know if it was between the agent and the team, the player and the team. I don't know what happened, but Moore could not get to a contract, re-enter the draft, and now he's here and taken by the Vancouver Lancers. So I guess it's retirement or contract for this guy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for Moore. Could be a questionable pick by the Vancouver Lancers, like earlier when we were talking about in the beginning before this draft started. Could be some swings, and that could be a draft swing right there. But if that plays out, man, that could end up being a good one. The potential's through the roof. Just you got to get him on contract. Richmond Lions now are on the clock here. They've had 2 great picks already. Now they're ready for their 3rd pick here, 2nd pick in the 2nd round, and they're going to select Leon Frost, a shutdown DB. We've seen that. It's like when one DB gets picked, another one's got to go right after it. But this is a great pickup here for the Richmond Lions. They picked up Taj earlier with the 1st pick at linebacker, and now they picked up Leon Frost at DB to go with Jalen Jones Jr. And that secondary. Now you have 2 young, great defensive backs now on roster. You keep them together for a while, that defense is really starting to come together in Richmond for already young and talented offense. That team's really been doing an amazing rebuild here under Cameron and Travis, man. Can't wait to see how that continues to play out. But the Ghana Gazelles now are on the clock. We're going to see who they choose to go with here. It's an interesting pick because, well, they've already had 3 picks, so this is the 4th one in the 2nd round, or 4th one in 2 rounds so far. They got the Great Wall in the 4th pick alignment. They get the Megatron Jr., defense alignment in the 2nd round, earlier in the 2nd round, and now they're here. But they got Jim Mooring late in the 1st round. They're putting together a great draft, but who else? Who do they go for? Well, so far, I mean, they're almost out of time, and we don't have a pick yet. What's going on here, Ghana? Somebody called GMTLK, tell them to hurry and make a selection. Well, it looks like they're going to probably run out of time here and choose not to pick, maybe. I don't know, but, well, we'll see if they somehow come back up later in this draft and make a pick from the Ghana Gazelles. We'll have to see. But the Berlin Hellhounds, I guess, are going to round us out here in the last pick of the 2nd round. And their only pick here in the draft, man. This is a big piece right here, because if you get the right pick here, could be the final piece to maybe a back-to-back Gold Bowl winning team. Who knows? Berlin Hellhounds select Axeman, a kicker, but not just any kicker, because, man, this is an athlete. Played running back and kicker in high school. It looks like it could continue to be a running back or a kicker. You can play running back and kicker. You probably can play receiver, DB, who knows? This is an athlete right here, Axeman going to the Berlin Hellhounds. Great pickup right there by them to finish off the 2nd round. I guess unless Ghana Gazelles sometimes show up and make a pick, who knows? But that's a great first 2 rounds right there. We saw the Berlin Hellhounds make their first pick in this draft, and that was a great one. Honestly, somewhat forgotten prospect down there, man. But the Gazelles, they fell asleep, I guess, there in the draft. So Berlin was like, all right, well, we'll take them. So they went out and got Axeman. Great pickup right there by the Gazelles. And then you had the Pumas. They lost a pick. That was the first pick lost so far in this draft. That was crazy to see in the 2nd round. They could have used that, but they did get a good pick in Sackman earlier in the 1st round. Ghana Gazelles going with the Megatron Jr. And the 1 pick they did make, great defensive lineman. And then Leon Frost going to the Richmond Lions, another talented defensive back that is going to be with Jalen Jones Jr. there in Richmond on that young defensive unit. So that's going to be great to see right there. But that was outside of Ghana falling asleep and Pumas losing a pick. That was a great 2nd round here in this 2018 casual draft night. But the 3rd round is getting ready to get started here. We have the Richmond Lions on the clock here, 1st overall, but they did lose this pick to also, well, being over one of the aprons in the CBA. So you lost the pick, and here we are. Well, we got the Sao Paulo Pumas coming up after this, and then the Houston Stags are on deck, so we'll have to see where those two teams choose to go. We only got a couple prospects left, so it's going to be interesting to see how this draft chooses to play out in the end, but there's also a lot of great prospects here that are still left. A lot of hungry players try to make a name for himself. It doesn't look like doesn't look like Richmond Lions going to hurt too bad off this pick, though, because they've already had a great draft so far with 3 great picks in the first 2 rounds. So still tough to lose this pick here, but man, when you get the draft class that they've already added to their roster, can't be too upset. But the Sao Paulo Pumas are on the clock here on this one. Going to be interesting to see where they choose to go, since they've only had, well, 1 pick in this draft, and the other one they lost. So picked up Sackman. You got to think they continue to add to the defense, because their offense is complete. They have a great offense, and Cash Jones and Samuel Brown Jr., man, and then Israel in the backfield, get older but still talented. You have Juan Rios on the offensive line, Big John at tight end, man, and incredible. Well, we're slowly running out of time here, and the Sao Paulo Pumas have not made a selection either. Not sure if they're going to make a selection, because we'd be expecting it to pop up right about now. So maybe they haven't decided yet. Maybe they're trying to figure out something with the Gazelles from earlier, talking about what happened. Who knows? But yeah, Ghana Gazelles, Sao Paulo Pumas, both of those 2 teams have just let the time go. So we'll see if they ever show back up and make some picks. Now we have the Houston Stags on the clock here. Pumas didn't make their pick on the last one, so we'll see if the Stags choose to make one here. Houston Stags have yet to have a pick in this draft, but they were very, very active in free agency. They lost some guys due to IA this past season, so it's interesting to see how they were going to come into the offseason and choose to attack. And man, they attacked. They used up their whole budget. They went after a ton of guys in free agency. They made some plays. Their offense is looking pretty good. Defense may be a little questionable, but if it's going to be a shootout, Houston Stags might be able to win it. Or it could come down to one of those situations in a game where whose defense makes the stop first. And if they happen to make the stop first, well, might get them a win. After a great playoff appearance in year 1 under KJ Jones, now they're going to try to redo that again in year 2, but looks like they also didn't make a draft pick in their 1 pick they had in this draft. So I'm not sure if that's the way you want to start trying to make another playoff run here. But who knows? KJ Jones looked like he had it under control in year 1, so we'll trust him in season 2 here. But the Salt Lake City Comets now are on the clock. We'll see if they make a selection. We've had 4 picks, or this is the 4th pick in the 3rd round, and we've had 2 just pass it up and 1 with a pick loss. So not sure what's happening. But Salt Lake City Comets picked up running back and Frost earlier. Maybe that's the Ragnar replacement for the future. Who knows on that one? We'll put a question mark in it, and we'll see how it plays out. But great player, though, so you got to expect it to play out positive. And then you got Michael Jones as a tight end, and A.J. Wild as a linebacker in the 1st round. 2 great pickups right there in the 1st round. A great pickup in the 2nd round. Salt Lake City Comets just passed up their pick right there. 3 straight teams didn't make a selection, but all 3 of those teams have had good off seasons so far, so I guess we'll trust them and say, well, you all know what you're doing. But the Bangkok Pandas now are on the clock, and they made a quick trade earlier in this draft to acquire this pick from the Vancouver Lancers, because, well, they lost the next pick due to aprons and being over the cap and CBA. So they went up, they made a trade with the Vancouver Lancers, and they got this pick, and it looks like they're going to select Baked Beans. This is a quarterback, but it's a mobile quarterback, an athlete. Not really a quarterback. Became a quarterback in college due to current quarterback on the team went down with injury. No one else is on the roster that was going to be good enough to play it. So, well, Baked Beans said, I got it. Kind of like a Lynn Bowden situation from Kentucky, or a Randall Cobb, man, but Baked Beans, man, going to the Bangkok Pandas. Interested to see how they choose to use them, and, well, what happens there. But great pickup by the Pandas. Also, another one that couldn't get on contract last year with the Argos Pegasi. So they re-enter the draft, and here they are. 3rd round pick 21 overall to to the Bangkok Pandas. But the Pandas here, they lost this pick. This is originally their pick. They lost to me over one of the aprons with the new CWSFL, CBA, like the Richmond Lions and Sao Paulo Pumas earlier in this draft. So it's going to be interested to see what happens with the Ghana Gazelles, because they're the next pick in this draft. And, well, they were MIA in the back in the half of the second round when they had a pick and just choose to kind of pass it up. So we'll see if they choose to make a selection here in this third round. Ghana Gazelles have had a good draft so far, though. Ghana Gazelles, it's crazy to say that they have had a good draft when they've had, well, could be 2 picks that they just kind of passed up in this draft. But they did have the Great Wall in the first round, Jin Mori, and then they picked up the Megatron Jr. Those are 3 really good picks. So, yeah, that to the team they have coming into next year. I mean, you could make another run, but you got to question, though, why the pass up on these picks here, because they haven't made a selection yet. They haven't came up to no one's sent in their selection. So usually that would have been done by now. So it doesn't look like the Ghana Gazelles are going to make a pick here in this one. So looks like let's prepare for the Bangkok Pandas, which are coming up to close out the third rounds here, where they went and made this another draft trade earlier in the draft, pick up this pick from the Berlin Hellhounds. So the Pandas, again, that's 2 picks they've traded for late in this third round. So I guess they saw some prospects maybe that it's like they're still here. So they were like, well, we got to go get them. So looks like the Bangkok Pandas here are on the clock again for what would be their 3rd pick in this draft and 2nd pick in the 3rd round. And both of these came by in-draft trades. So it's going to be crazy to see how these choose to play out. But we have 2 people left in this draft, and it's going to be Hertz, QB, to the Bangkok Pandas. 2nd QB selected by them here in the 3rd round when they already have Joe Burrow. A lot of people could be scratching their head on this one, but both these guys have played other positions in the past in their football career. So we'll have to see if they stay at quarterback. Maybe Hertz chooses to trust his play and re-enter the draft or ask for a trade. Who knows? But maybe changes positions and plays for the Bangkok Pandas. A lot of question marks there from that 3rd round draft here in the Season 18 Casual Draft Night. But we've had 3 great drafts though so far still in this draft, man. And a lot of great prospects have heard their name taken off the board here. We have 1 pick left here in this draft, so it's going to be interesting to see how that one chooses to play out. But it's going to be the Richmond Lions that will be coming on up to make this selection as well for the last pick in the draft, where they lost their pick in the 3rd round there. So they're excited to make this pick. We're gonna see who they choose to get as well. There's really only 1 prospect left, so he's probably already starting to try to make his. We're trying to walk his way to the stage here. I mean, he's like, I know where I'm going, man. They got to take me. I'm the last guy in the green room here. I'm the last guy at the draft. But sometimes Mr. Irrelevant turns out to be one of the best players in the draft class. So it's going to be great to see the Richmond Lions and what they choose to do here with this player. But it's another great player as well. And it's going to round off the draft here. But looks like Jacob Copeland has now made his way to the stage a little early as well. But come on, man. Last pick on the draft. Come on up, man. Get your hat, get your jersey, take your picture, shake your hands. Jacob Copeland, quarterback mobile, going to the Richmond Lions. Another player that could play another position, could choose to be a backup quarterback in Richmond. Who knows? They already have Travis Scott, who's starting to enter his stride as that young QB there for the team. But Jacob Copeland, good pickup here by the Richmond Lions to close out this draft. And the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get him on contract and what that career looks like in Richmond for Copeland. But wow, Season 18 Casual Draft Nights come to a close here. We technically had 4 rounds, but only about 18, 19 prospects here in this one. There looks like there are going to be some undrafted free agents now, which is crazy because we've never really had too many of those after the draft ends. But it's going to be nice to see how some guys like maybe Weaver or Jackson or X or Darrell Revis. We got Big Nick and Sherm, all undrafted free agents here, kind of waiting to figure out where they're going to go, what team's going to pick them up. A lot of them defensive players, and man, they're going to be good. This is looking like it's going to be could be one of the best defensive draft classes we've had in a while here in CWSFL. So it's going to be great to see how it chooses to play out. But it's been an amazing Season 18 casual draft night. We appreciate everybody watching and tuning in, and congratulations to all the draft prospects that just found out where they're going and what team's going to be suiting them up. Now it's time to get you on a contract. Training camp starts Wednesday. Peace out.